Hello, welcome to the Pick Connection. I'm John Evans, your host. We're going to have a great lineup today. We're going to the Wharton Elementary School, where we'll be talking about our pre-K Cons program, and we'll have a lot of fun up there with the kids. So please stay with us.
And you are watching the Pick Connection.
First up is Renee Despot. She'll be talking with Kim Brown about pre-K Cons at the Wharton Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Renee Despot. I'm the pre-K manager for the Pre-K Counts program for the Private Industry Council. And today we're coming to you from the Wharton Elementary classroom. I have with me Miss Kimberly Brown. She is one of our newest Pre-K Counts teachers. Miss Kim, can you please tell us some of the differences that you found in a Pre-K Counts classroom versus some of the other classroom settings that you've worked in?
Well, I think with babies, and I call them my babies because they are to me young. They're 3 to 5, and they are at the most moldable stage that a child can be at. I think one of the things that I go into at the beginning of the year is social emotional skills. Lots of times parents will say, well, are you going to teach them to read? And I always say, I sure am. But before you read, you learn a letter. And before you learn a letter, you learn how to sit and wait. Those are skills that even as they move on, if they don't have that foundation of self-control and sitting, and in an age appropriate, you don't expect children to sit for 30 minutes. You start off with 4 and 5 minutes and you build from there. And it's amazing to me how these children have built the self-control and the self-regulation from the beginning of the year till now. And I think it's going to behoove them when they move to kindergarten and more difficult cognitive skills are taught, the higher order thinking. But I feel I've also, in this program that we really focus on with the early learning standards, being able to give them a good foundation of letter skills, comprehension, sound skills, number skills, not just recognizing what A is, but as you see, we have some puppets. They love the letter puppets. Truly getting the sound of it and them understanding. So that's the big difference I see in this program.
Well, as you know, we learn through play at this age. How do you help the parents understand our philosophy in learning through play and our creative curriculum?
Well, I start off by quoting one of my favorite educators of all time, and it's Maria Montessori. And her theory was that children's play is adults' work. This is their job. We need to, instead of saying, a 3 to 5-year-old could never get that, that's not the parent's job. That becomes my job in explaining to the parent, okay, if we present it to them at a higher level, they're not going to get it. But anything, you can take any skill or any behavior and bring it down to an age-appropriate level. No, I am not going to sit here and talk at them. But as they learn and as they are praised with positive praise, that I am so proud of how, and I'm looking at my letters, seeing children that sat there all year. I am so proud at how you've used that self-control. It's so hard to do. And they'll say, can I? And I'll say, see if we can save it a little bit longer. And that time period goes apart. So when I'm talking to the parents, they'll say, oh, but they're only 3. And I'll say, children, rise to the expectation that you set for them.
Exactly.
As long as it's not an inappropriate expectation, if I say to them, listen, you're never going to sit here and be able to do this, they won't. If I say to them, I know you can do it as long as you try. Just give me 5 more seconds. And what a wonderful feeling it is to see them accomplish that. Parents look at me, particularly this year. I am a big believer in independence. Putting on a coat and zipping it, the pride that they feel. And then I spin it to a parent. I have 2 older children who are grown and gone. The frustration of saying, let's go, let's get your coat done, when I had to do it for them. It really makes their job easier in the end when they say, and at first it's a little bit difficult because you have to be patient. But then your child is zipping and saying, I can do it myself. And what a great feeling that is for parents and children.
As you know, we value parent involvement and engaging the families in our program. How do you engage families in your classroom?
I think it starts before the classroom. I think it starts, my favorite part is meeting them at the door and seeing them at the door every day. I usually have a certain knock, which I don't know how it started off, but I kind of pound on the door and go dun, 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 and I don't open the door until whoever is first hits dun, dun. So it started off early in the year, and one time I forgot to do it, and it was last week. And I heard a voice from the outside. It was a pap, and he said, "We're waiting for the knock." So what I try to do is say my hellos, my greetings. The way you start the day sets the tone. So if I meet them, that's how the day goes. So I think the first step in family engagement is that bringing them in and dismissing them with a smile and a positive comment. The next step is plain old rapport with people. That doesn't mean I always have to say what they want to hear, because a lot of times I don't. I say that I think your child can do this and we just need to work together at it. But I think the key is never talking down to them. They want to learn. I have not had one parent this year. I've had a few parents at the start saying, "Well, I'm not sure if I think that's important." And I said, and I understand that. So how about coming in and watching? And when you leave the classroom, if you don't think that's important, I'll try to look at my approach. And everyone who has come in has said, "I never looked at it like that." So communication.
Right, exactly. Being that you're in a school, how do you include families and the children in all the activities going into the school? Because of course our biggest goal is not only to transition children into the kindergarten classrooms, but also the families.
The nice part about this school, and I'm sure any school that a pre-K counts classroom is housed in, is many times you have siblings. We have 16 children in this classroom. 2 of them are going to a different classroom for kindergarten next year, but 10 are remaining here in this building. As long as the activity is age appropriate. For example, we just had Fun Day. I worked hand in hand with the PTO president and the person coordinating that, as well as the principal. There were certain things that weren't age appropriate for us. Popcorn, all right, so we eliminated that. We provided some trail mix that we had the children put together. But what I think it does is you have a mother who is helping in the school. She is able to see where her older child falls, where her younger child falls, and I think that encourages parents to be more active all the way around. It's an open door policy here, so I ask them, you are more than welcome to come in. Just maybe give me a heads up in the sense that so I can announce it, and you can come in and spend time with your child. Doesn't matter. I had one mother say, "Oh, but I can't get off work a whole day." Then come in for lunch, if that works with them.
Right. We are currently enrolling for our Pre-K Counts program. We have 11 classrooms throughout the Tri-County areas, including Fayette County, Westmoreland County, Beaver County, and Allegheny County. For information, please feel free to contact us or find our information on our website at privateindustrycounselor.com. Again, my name is Renee Despot, and I'm your Pre-K manager, and with me I have Kimberly Brown today. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thanks.
All right, next up we're going to Kim Brown. She'll be talking to Tracy Holzapple, the principal at Wharton Elementary School.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Brown. I am the Pre-K Counts classroom supervisor here at Wharton Elementary School. I'm sitting with Tracy Holzapple, who is the building's principal up at Wharton Elementary. And we just had a few questions that we wanted to ask you with regard to Pre-K Counts being housed in the building with the elementary students. Number one, what are some of the positive aspects of having a Pre-K Counts room housed in this elementary school?
Well, I think the students are getting acclimated to the school and our procedures that we have. Staff, they're getting to be familiar with the students that are here. So they're able, and also the students are able to follow any activities they may have, learn our procedures, our protocol. So I think the transition will be easy because they've already been here.
All right, I know that kids love walking up the hall in the sense that there's no intimidation from the first day to now.
Right.
It's not this big, huge, scary place.
Shouldn't be new. Shouldn't be too new to them, no.
All right. How about telling us about some of the routines that you have seen the Pre-K? Sometimes people say, well, they're only 3 to 5. Tell me about some of the routines that you've seen.
Well, I always see them in the hallway, making their little signs and, following in a line in the hallway. They do our fire drills just like we do. They do, when I'm invited into the cafeteria when they're having lunch, I see them when they're doing their procedures as far as having lunch. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure there's more. I mean, they're around and they're always behaved.
Well, it might be a good thing that you don't notice them so much.
They blend right in.
There you
They fit
go.
right in. They're a good fit.
Good. And the last thing, as an administrator, because I think being an administrator of not only one building but several buildings, there's a lot of things that people who aren't on that level see as pros and cons. So as an administrator, what are some of the things, does it make it your job easier?
I think it makes it easier. I get to meet the parents prior to them, starting kindergarten. Yeah, definitely. Them knowing the procedures, learning about PTO, knowing that we have many activities here. We have fun day, barbecue day. So they're already aware of that because we've allowed them to participate. So it makes it just easier for me next year. They already know what to expect and they're already looking forward to things and volunteering for things. So yeah, definitely easier, especially because I am in the 3 buildings. Getting to know them now on this level does make it easier. They've seen me, so they do know that I am the principal when I am in the building. So yeah, definitely easier.
Well, great. Well, I know May is a super busy month for any teacher, administrator, mom, dad. It's filled with activities, so I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to answer these questions.
You're
and I
welcome.
look forward to seeing you next year.
My pleasure.
Up next, we're going to go back to Kim Brownwell. She'll be talking with a teacher at the Wharton Elementary School.
All right, my name is Kimberly Brown, and I am the classroom supervisor for the Pre-K Counts program here at Wharton Elementary School, and I'm being joined by Jennifer Bolin, who is one of the kindergarten teachers in the building. I wanted to ask you, I noticed kindergarten registration just ended, and there were children who came from this program, who came from other programs, children who were not enrolled in any programs. I guess my question would be, what is it that you see that comes from the Pre-K Counts program that you think might be beneficial for children?
What I am seeing that would be beneficial from your students transitioning to the Wharton program for kindergarten is the familiarity with the building. And also the staff here at Wharton. We know your students before they even come to us in the fall when they begin kindergarten. We see them at lunch, we see them sometime at recess. Knowing some of the safety procedures throughout the school year, such as fire drills, a little bit with bus safety when we have some busing issues in the morning, and just the hallway safety, being able to transition those procedures and routines that you have taught them so effectively in your classroom. They really ease into our classroom setting.
Well, I know one of the things that the children have talked about is next year, because of course they're saying your name is Mrs. Fowler's name, and they've talked about, but, we want to waive you, so we have, just so you know, we have a thing in place where, because that's disruptive to your children and my new children, they are allowed to look at us and give us a wink. So they'll be winking in the hallways, but just so you know, they are looking very forward to coming to kindergarten, the ones that are coming from here. I have one more question for you.
Okay.
What do you think when you look at the children and when you see them doing things, sometimes you'll pop your head in or we'll be doing stuff on the playground or in the cafeteria, is the most beneficial part of the Pre-K Counts program?
Again, I would stress the familiarity with the staff and being able to chat with you throughout the school year concerning our kindergarten curriculum and with the changes that have come to kindergarten over the last few years with the instatement of the Common Core standards. Kindergarten has really turned into first grade.
Mm-hmm.
It is not what kindergarten is when I was a kindergartner and probably when you were a kindergartner, where the focus was on a lot of social skills. Throughout our school year, we are focusing on not only memorizing skills, but also being able to apply those into higher order learning, such as problem solving, addition, subtraction, knowing my letters and letter sounds leads me to reading and writing and to communicating with each other. So being able to communicate with you, our kindergarten curriculum and the expectations, and then I know you are passing that information on to your parents.
Right.
Is a tremendous benefit to this
One
program.
of my favorite parts is when I talk to you about the writing. because I think to myself, I think one of the benefits is if you're using a specific writing paper, to let them see that now instead of using something different here than they will use the next year. So that's always nice for me to touch base with you as to not so much Common Core, but how do you implement this? That way there'll be a nice transition. But as I said with Mrs. Holzapfel, May is a very busy year, and I want to thank you for giving us a minute of your time, and I'm looking forward to those winks in the hallway next year.
We'll be watching for the winks.
All right, thanks.
All right, up next, we're going back to Kim Brown. She'll be talking to a group of parents about the Pre-K Cons program at the Wharton Elementary School.
All right, my name is Kimberly Brown, and I am currently the classroom supervisor for the Pre-K Counts program here at Wharton Township Elementary School. And I am sitting and talking with one of the parents of one of the children that were enrolled this year. Cabela Bobick is the child's name, and this is Ashley Bobick. So I really just wanted to yesterday we talked to the principal and the teacher about the academics and the structure there. I really wanted to get a feel from parents of different, with children of different ages, what they felt about the program. So this is your first child, second child, third child?
She's my third, my baby.
All right, so I know when I had my baby, things were very different because it's your baby. How did you feel when you started to think about enrolling her? What were some of the thoughts that you had?
I was a little nervous, and I thought she's never going to cooperate because she's our little chirper, and she is a very big personality. So I thought for sure she was never going to listen, never going to sit down, never write her name, and now she loves to read and write, and she whispers just a little now.
Just whisper. I will share a cute story that when we did our paperwork, our initial paperwork, Ashley says to me as the children were running around, why are you whispering? Because I was talking like this. And I said, well, because when you have 16 children, you have to whisper. And she went, oh, well, she'll never do that. And I went, okay. So what were some of the changes that you saw in her as a person?
Oh my God, she's grown up so much. I think I always call her, she's my three-nager. Even though she's 4, she's like my teenager already. And she wants to do chores. She pretends that she's her teacher, Miss Kim now. She'll walk around and have her little classroom, and she's just grown so much.
All right, well, I will tell you that she is somebody who has, exactly like you said, there is so much to her. She is so alive and just this explosive personality. But I will tell you one of the things that I think she has excelled at the most is, we call it chirping. It's just a kinder, softer word for shouting answers out. And she is so proud when she can sit now and say, oh, Miss Kim, I wanted to chirp. I wanted to chirp, but I made it stop. So it's wonderful for me. What would you tell friends who are with their baby on the fence? What's some things you would say to a mother who says, I just don't think that they're ready?
I have a couple of moms like that, and I encourage them to send them for them to kind of have like a trial run of what it's going to be like for kindergarten. They're going to come most of the day, and they're going to get in a routine. They're going to get familiar with the school, familiar with teaching, and all the academic that they're going to learn. With teaching their name, you learn their ABCs, all these songs that they know and they caught on to. So I definitely encourage all the moms to.
And she was super proud. I will tell you, she was so proud of being able to write her name. And one of the things that we do is we speak with the kindergarten teacher so that I see how she does it and which papers they use, so that what we teach them here, they don't have to relearn in kindergarten. But I will tell you, she is going to be a returning child next year, and I simply cannot wait to see my little
I
chirper
can't
next
wait
week.
to see how much she grows. I don't know how much more she's going to grow because she's doing so good, but I can't wait to see her improvements either.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to next year and softer voices, a little less chirping, but no smaller personality from her. All right.
I don't think you'll get it.
Thanks, Ashley.
You're welcome.
All right, folks, we have returned with yet another parent interview. This is Jessica Fisher, and she is with her son, Wade Mershot. He is a first-time student here at Wharton Pre-K. He came and enrolled at age 4. He will be transitioning to kindergarten, and we thought this time we would not only talk to Mom, but we might even be able to get Wade to talk a little bit. Will you talk a little bit as soon as Mommy's done? Okay. Can you show self-control until then? Alrighty, friend. All right, Jess, this was a big year for him. He went to a preschool prior to this, and so he's had some exposure. When you enrolled him here, what would you say some of the differences were, and where have you seen him grow?
He's grown in his self-control a lot and just learning. He's really caught on a lot more than he did at his previous school. He didn't learn to write his name or ABCs, counting, anything, and he was there for a whole year.
Wow. Well, I tell you, he does love. He showed great pride, especially when he could not only just write Wade, but when he wrote his last name too. Could I talk to you about a couple things now? All right, my friend, here we go. I want you to tell me what your favorite thing about pre-K is.
I like to play with some teacups.
What did we have today? We brought in a tea set. Whose tea set was it?
We're kids.
They were belonged to my girls when they were little. Do you remember what it's made of?
Glass.
It's made of glass, so we have to be very, very
Careful, and we had
and
drinks and some graham crackers.
graham crackers. That is wonderful. So you love the tea party. All right. What is something else that you loved about pre-K?
I like to play blocks.
You like blocks. All right. It seems to me you like to be outside a lot too, don't you?
Because I like to run in the grass.
Oh, you are a runner. And do you want to tell them, would you like to tell them what you love more than anything? Bull riding.
Bull riding.
Did you teach me a lot about bulls and bull riding? Why don't you tell them something about bull riding?
You have to hang on really tight and put your hand up and hang on really with one hand.
Oh, that is wonderful. I have learned a lot about bull riding with you. You have special shirts, don't you? Bull riding shirts? All right. Well, I am going to miss you, but when you see me in the hallway, I said we couldn't really kind of say, hey, how are you? So what are we going to do when we pass each other in the hallway?
Blink.
Let me see. Oh, that is perfect. Well, we will be back with one last interview soon. I want to thank you both for interviewing, and I think he is going to be a famous bull rider someday, and if he isn't, I know he has other great things in store for him. I will miss you. Bunches. All right? Say see ya.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. We are back with our final parent interview. This is Amanda Van Sickle. Her son Jason will be transitioning into kindergarten. He is a second-year student at the Pre-K Counts program here at Wharton. And this was your baby, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so tell me a little about sending your youngest child as opposed to your oldest child. Was it different, tougher, easier, what?
It was tougher on him than my oldest. Just he cried. The first full year, he sat, he cried. The second year, he just couldn't wait to come. He loves it here. He could not wait to come to school.
Well, what kind of growth have you seen in him? We see that there must be an emotional and a social aspect that has changed and matured. What else would you say you have seen him change the most in, even if we're talking about letter writing skills, anything like that?
Everything, to be honest. His maturity of talking, saying sentences, reciting things that he comes home. If he learns the first day, he knows them. Writing his name. He sat down one day, it's been a few months ago, he was real quiet, and he came over to me and he said, "Here, Mommy, look what I did." And he wrote his full name, first and last, and it amazed me.
And I want to thank you for letting me spend a year with your
No
child.
problem. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that's it for parent interviews.
All right, we have a special treat for all of you out there. We have the kids from the Pre-K Counts classroom at the Wharton Elementary School, and they have a very special message for you.
That steals, they're multiplying, sing songs. We can get to our clothes, put on mittens and hats too. Why? It's because of you. You're the one I love. You're the one I love. You're the one is all I need. Our day starts with some rhyming. Let me eat and say the Mama, full time. Then the sentence begins us again. We started off slow. We had rules to learn. Not to chirp and not to fret. We should be kind, treat each other nice. And our families will be proud. Are they proud? Yes, I'm sure that they are proud. You're the one I love. 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 Family is all I need.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. What a great time we had up at the Wharton Elementary School talking about the Pre-K Cons program. All the kids up there, all the teachers and all the parents. It was a great time. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. And don't forget, I'll see you next month on the Pick Connection.